over books. In books, you have a subject matter before you, and you go on discussing that subject matter. Every reader has not a chance to ask any questions he pleases. So, in question answer sessions, you gain this advantage that every small thing which is bothering anybody on any aspect is being asked. So during the last 2 years particularly, I have attended quite a few question answer sessions, and I think a wide variety of questions has been answered. For instance, I heard once only recently from Switzerland, a lady had written that I had many questions to ask and I was preparing to send to you, but I heard some cassettes and I was surprised that every question was answered already in those cassettes. So similarly, I am hearing from Africa. In African countries, they are employing them very effectively now for preaching purposes and for letting them know what Ahmadiyyat is. When we tell our Ahmadiyyat just as our fundamental beliefs, it does not convey what Ahmadiyyat is. But when our views, which we have formed of the concept of Islam, of the world around, of nature, of God and things, which has been given to us by Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, when we introduce Ahmadiyyat in this manner, it has a very different impact, completely different. And in this question answer sessions, the Ahmadiyya view as against the non-Ahmadiyya view of Islam is made manifestly clear. This has been repeatedly tested, that the best way of preaching is not a direct onslaught, but your introduction of what you think of religion, the philosophy of life and things. These things attract people much more to you than just telling them that this is our view fundamentally different from yours and you are wrong and we are right. This is why I mentioned yesterday that when groups of students from Cambridge came here, and there were some other Arab students as well, the questions asked by the Cambridge students were of this nature, where Ahmadiyya view on such issues as were agitating the minds of the present day people were inquired about by those students. And the answers were naturally such as would appeal to them, because no other religious scholars have the same concept, same view of religion. So this disturbed the Arabs so much, because they were hostile, that they repeatedly interfered to change the subject to the fundamental differences. And when the fundamental differences appeared, then they lost interest. While previously they were extremely interested in these things. So this is why we are preparing a catalogue, so that every Ahmadi should know what to find where. If any friend asks a question about anything, so he should consult the catalogue and see in which cassette where this subject is discussed. He can only write for that to the missionary, send me a copy of that cassette. So that will make things so easy. Otherwise, most of the missionaries in charge do not know. Missionaries in charge, I know positively, they do not know what is said in and where. So, and it's difficult. They're so deeply involved in so many tasks of daily responsibilities that it's impossible for them to sit quietly and listen to cassettes or take video recordings. So I don't blame them, but this is a fact. They don't know. So I hope, inshallah, that will help. Now I received a letter yesterday from Salma Saeed. She has been trying this, and first of all, a very interesting experience which has been related to me by them, Mrs. Saeed and Mr. Saeed, that there is a Sufi Muslim in their town, which is an Englishman. Both he and his wife are Muslims. And he was so much prejudiced against Ahmadiyya that he told me that for many months they tried their hardest. He would simply refuse to listen. He would say, it's impossible, out of question, I don't want to even meet you. He was discouraged so much. But his wife was amenable and sympathetic, because Mrs. Salma Saeed has a very good way of preaching, very attractive way and very penetrating way. So anyway, he would not budge. So what Salma did was, she gave her friend a few cassettes on various questions, not on what exactly Ahmadiyyat versus non-Ahmadiyyat. And it so happened that he was on holidays and he had to remain in the house when the wife played on these cassettes. So after 2 or 3 days, when Dr. Saeed met him, he was met with great fervor and, love and absolute warmth. And he insisted this time that we must get together and I must know more about Ahmadiyya. And he confessed that this was the reason my wife very cleverly made me listen to those tapes which are not a direct confrontation with the rest of the people. It just gave me the inside view of Ahmadiyya. And I'm interested. This is why they had to leave in a hurry yesterday morning, immediately after the morning prayer, because it was at the request of that gentleman, that Sufi Muslim, that he had organized a session with him yesterday. So this is why I think it's very important for Ahmadis to know answers to such various different questions as are not found generally in books, and they have to be catalogued. So you have already got some catalog. Now put them, I'm sorry, I forgot the advice. The advice she rendered was that subject-wise, they should be turned into tapes, different tapes on subjects. So whenever somebody is interested in a particular subject, we can give him that tape belonging to him, to the subject of his interest. So now it is very easy. After Fazal Sahib has made the task, the spade work, it's not difficult now to tell them to put them in subject divisions. And after that, what will have to be seen would be the quality of voice and the variance in the voice. Is it jarring or not? That would be the question to be put to every tape. If the standard, the levels of recording and the standard of quality is markedly different, then perhaps we'll have to forego a certain portion rather than to jar the nerves of the listener. But ask somebody to start working on this. No, but that is just a small. I am telling you exactly the opposite thing. I say do not go start preaching with confrontation. Instead, you let them know what you are. This is why Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ repeatedly stressed upon a course of introducing your own religion as best as you can. He said, instead of debating the issues which ultimately result in hostilities, you better speak of the good points of your own religion. The result would be that people will then understand better what one's religion is. So this is why all the proponents of religions in India at that time avoided this. Because if that was the competition, obviously Islam would leave them far, far behind. Because conceive of a Hindu speaking of the beauty of Hinduism as against